Hi, it's Mary Ellen. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Today I want to talk to you about why people quit their planners and how you can stay more consistent long term. I've seen a lot of people come and go with their planners, even people who post in this community. I also see it in the number of views I get on my videos. People get really hyped up in January, of course, right? It's a new year. And they buy their planner, they get really excited, they use it for a while, and then by March, they've ghosted their planner. I get a lot of messages asking me, Mary Ellen, how can I stick to this planner? How can I be more consistent? So I know it's a real problem across the board. Before we get into this though, I just want to be really transparent about something. I've been consistent with my planner for 8 years now, but the main reason I've been consistent is because this is literally my job. My full-time job is posting planner content online, so I have to do this. I need to show my planners on camera. If this were not my job, there would definitely be times when I would fall off for months or years. I know this about myself. I have ADHD, and consistency is not something that comes easy for me. I struggle with routines. I struggle with follow through, and I especially struggle if something starts to feel overwhelming for me. I am not saying this to suggest that you all should become content creators so that you'll stick to your planner. That's not what I'm saying, obviously. I just want you to know that someone who does this for a living, posts planner content constantly, thinks about planners all the time, and has every reason to stay consistent, still struggles with it sometimes. There have been a lot of weeks where I've had to back plan because I didn't use my planner. And there are weeks that my planner is completely blank too. I also think that because of social media, there's this sort of disconnect between what people think planners are really like and what they're actually really like. I think that channels like mine who show all these really pretty planners and they're completely filled out and they have all the stickers, the colors, it's so pretty and decorative. I think that they sort of contribute a little bit to the perfectionism that you might be feeling if you're someone who follows planner content creators. I hate that maybe I'm part of the problem. My planner probably looks so much more perfect than it would if this wasn't my job, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, if you keep quitting planners, you are not alone in that, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about why you're doing this. I think that some people quit planners because they're choosing the planner based on how pretty it is or based on how they see someone else use it, and not actually how it matches their life. Planner brands market their products in a very specific way. They want to create a feeling in you, and they do it really well. It makes you feel really excited, right? When you're picking out a planner in the beginning of the year, you get, at least I do, my whole life I've loved like paper and notebooks and stationery and planners. Like it's just something about it is just so wonderful, right? Because you feel like you're finally going to change your life. You're finally going to get your act together. So we see these perfect spreads, the neat handwriting, the color coding, the systems that are created. And it creates this idea that if we just find the perfect planner, that everything will click in our lives. We'll be like a different person. I'm guilty of this too. I've been guilty of that my whole life. That's why New Year's is very attractive to me. Like I get super excited. But planners are tools, and if the layout doesn't fit your life and what you need it for, then it's not going to work for you and you're going to quit. Motivation only lasts so long. So everyone's different. Some people need to see everything at once so they don't forget about it. Some people need specific pages for lists. Some people need a lot of white space. Some people need no white space. Some people need places in the planner that tell you what to do. Some people want more flexibility in their planner. If you get the wrong planner, it might feel annoying to you or cramped or have too much space. If it feels overwhelming or boring or just doesn't feel right, it's probably not the right planner for you. Just because it works for me or someone else you see online doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Another big reason people quit planners is they're planning a life that doesn't really exist. At the beginning of the year, we have high hopes, like I was talking about. We plan for more energy, better habits. We have all these like New Year's resolutions. We're assuming we're going to be productive and calm and it's going to change us, right? So when real life shows up and it doesn't match the plan we had in our heads, The planner is going to serve as like a reminder of everything you're not doing, and it makes you feel bad about yourself. That's one reason why we keep avoiding it. Overcomplication is another thing, especially for people who really enjoy planners at first. You add habit trackers, routines, goal pages, all these different systems. None of these things are bad on their own, but like the more steps you have, the more things you need to complete in your planner every day, the less likely you'll be to use your planner. I, again, am guilty of this. I'm guilty of everything and guilty is the wrong word. I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing. It's just the way our brains work, we think we can handle more than we can most of the time. A lot of people also quit planners because they think that they need to use it every single day. So if they miss a few days or a week or even a month, like they feel like it's ruined and now they're just not going to do it. It's like 0 or 100. This is sort of like the diet mentality. Like, I had a piece of cake today and I ruined my diet. Therefore, I am not going to start until next Monday, even though it's Tuesday right now. I am just going to throw everything away and binge eat snacks until next week or next month or next year. Planners are sort of the same way. Like, it doesn't work that way. If you stop on a certain week and you don't fill out your planner and you don't want to back plan or whatever, that's fine. Planning is not an all or nothing situation. Again, a planner is a tool. It will help you if you use it. If you don't, it won't. But just because you didn't fill out those weeks doesn't mean that you can't fill out the next weeks. In reality, most people who use planners consistently have gaps of time when they don't use it. They have messy pages. They have parts of pages that are completely blank. Sometimes they don't fill out their monthly page. Like, no one's planner is totally perfect. Whoa, my dog. So the people that keep using their planners just leave that alone. They see the messes and the blank pages and stuff, and they're like, okay, and they just keep going. What actually helps is really deciding what you need your planner for. Like, not everything it can do, but what do you absolutely need it for? Appointments, a short to-do list, just a place to get things out of your head. And that's what your planner is for, like to take everything out of your head and put it onto paper so that you're not constantly using brain power to try to remember what you have to do next. I always say that my planner doesn't make me productive. My planner lets me know what I have to do. And that way it frees up some brain power so that hopefully I can be more productive. With me, it's a struggle, but it doesn't help you do things. It just helps you know what to do. I think what also helps is starting simple, like really simple. I know no one wants to really start simple, but I think it's the best way to go. It's so much easier to add things later than it is to like start with a whole bunch of stuff. Just take it a little bit at a time and create that habit of filling that part out in your planner. Once you created that habit and you're used to doing it and it's working for you, add a couple more things in and a couple more things in. But if you try to add everything at once, it's really not the best way to go about it, even though I know how attractive that seems and I know the struggle. I've done it many times. It's also important that you plan for a regular week, like not your best week, not the week that you have the most energy, but like a normal everyday week where things come up, where you might not feel, so energetic. You might not want to fill out your planner because you're not going to feel the same way like in the middle of August about your planner than you did the first week in January. You're just not, unless you've been using a planner for 20 years. So if you only sit down to write in your planner like once or twice a week, build your planner around that. If you've never been someone to write in a planner every day, don't start with a daily planner because, you're just not used to that. Let yourself skip pages in your planner without beating yourself up for it. Like I said before, if you don't write in it, so what? Big deal. Just keep going with it. Also, make sure you don't forget about your planner. I think sometimes people are inconsistent because they just don't see their planners. They forget that their planner exists. Even me, even someone who has a literal job based on planners can sometimes forget that my planner even exists. So I recommend keeping it out somewhere where you can see it, like a kitchen counter or on your desk. If you can keep it open, that's even better because then you're just going to like scan your plans every day and write in it. If you make it easy for yourself and you make it visible, it's going to be easier for you to stick to it. So don't keep it on a shelf, keep it somewhere where you can see it. It's also important that you have some kind of planning routine, a consistent daily or every other day or whenever you want to do it, a time when you sit down and you use your planner. I would suggest like 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, or 5 minutes, nothing major, but just so that you'll look at it for at least the first couple months. I would try to do that at the same time every day if you can, just because that is what is going to create a habit, or do like a little habit stacking, like in that book. Oh my gosh, what is that book called? I'm blanking. You know the book. I think it's by James Clear. The habit stacking, where you tie your planner habit to something else. Like maybe you have your planner in the kitchen, and when you're eating breakfast, you take a look at it every day. Or maybe as soon as you get home from work, you come in the door, you put your keys away, you open your planner. Like, just attach it to something else, and that might make it easier for you to remember. You also need one time a week where you're going to sit down and plan for the next week. And I would try to keep that consistent as well. I know our schedules change, and I know sometimes we're away and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I think, most people can probably sit down on like a Sunday evening and spend a little bit of time in their planner preparing for the next week. And you'll probably need one too at the end of the month for like the next month's planning, but I wouldn't stress about that so much. I'd focus more on the weeks at first. If you can't remember, even if it's in your face, and even if you set these times, set a reminder on your phone, like have an alarm that goes off at a certain time every day that reminds you to look at your planner. And if you have ADHD like me, you need all the reminders you can get. For me personally, consistency looks different depending on what's going on in my life at the time. So like holiday time, it is crazy. And sometimes I just skip Christmas week altogether in my planner. I just did this past year. If I'm getting ready to move, if I have a big vacation, it seems like the weeks that I'm super busy, I don't look at my planner, which makes absolutely no sense. That is when I need my planner. But what can I say? I start working off like lists and notebooks and things like that. It just makes it easier for me. I get very overwhelmed by my planner during those times, so that's when I don't use it. There are times when my planner is really detailed, really pretty, really neat, and there are times when it's a little messier, when it's not completely filled out, and that's obviously very normal. The reason I keep coming back to it, besides the fact that it's my job, wow, is that I stopped treating it like a thing that I had to do like the right way. And I started making it work for me and not the other way around. So if something stops working for me, I change it. I never try to force anything in my planner anymore. I used to. I don't do that anymore. So if you keep quitting planners, that doesn't mean that planning's not for you. I just want you to think about how you can make it easy for yourself. That is the main takeaway from this video. Like, how can you make it easier for yourself to stick to it? Let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you, or if you found anything useful out of this video. I hope so. So if you want to see more content like this, and then content about decorative planning, functional stuff, junk journaling I do, all this kind of stuff, I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys have a great day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.